Well, okay, so this is gonna go this way. Oops. Why don't you tell Dad that Mom asked him to order pizza? Because I bet that would be lovely. No, don't tip. Don't tip. I see you. You wrote yay. Hello, my dear. Okay. This is tricky and scary. I think it's gonna fall. All right, ready? This is low, brighter, brighter, brighterest, superest. Hate that. Oh God. Hey, how's it going, Mr. Spur? Who am I, Lady K? Feral Tradwife, really teeny tiny YouTuber that is trying to figure out how to do a live stream. So that's what I'm trying to do. It's gonna be awkward. Can't wait. You like level 3? Okay, let's go back. That wasn't level 3. There were several lower levels. Okay, there we go. Okay. I think I figured out how to do it. I had to Google, I had to YouTube how to set it up. So I got it. And that was really exciting. All right. I hit my goal of 3 people watching at the same time, and this is thrilling. So I guess I'm done. That's it. 2 minutes in and I am done. So I gotta stop banging this. Okay. Ask me a question. Let's see. Let's get to know each other. Lady K, how did you find me? Did it just like randomly pop up? No, ma'am, you don't get away that easy. I control the start and stop. I control it. My son is so anxious to come look. Come look real quick.
Hello.
See? There you are. Okay. Thank you. Did you ask Dad what I asked you to ask?
Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
Hello.
Thank you.
Someone said hey to me.
She sure did. Okay, so he is so cute. He's also really kind and I like him a lot. So I set up next to my computer because I thought I was going to have to like look here, but also try to read my comments somewhere else because I didn't understand how this worked. But actually they come right up here, which is kind of handy. What is my favorite color? That is, so I love telling little kids this answer because they hate it so much. It's brown. Kids hate that it's brown. Okay, I have to remember to look at you and read my questions at the same time. That's gonna be tricky. So thank you for being the #1 like. You were so much better than your wife. I have been saying it nonstop. I said that Mrs. Spur is decent, but her husband is clearly glorious because he can drive trains. He could drive train. He knows a lot about trains, and that is important to everybody. Whatever. I'm all about sowing contention during marriages. That's what I do in my own marriage. And 6 people watching. This is crazy. Look at you guys. Hi. I cannot believe 6 people are watching at the same time. I was fully prepared to talk about Tutor England to myself for as long as it took until I got this like anxiety to go away. But it's still, oof, oh, now we're down to 5. That hurt my feelings. Not gonna lie. Okay, but anyways, I have so much anxiety inside my chest. And it's very uncomfortable. So when I started looking into YouTube, everybody's like, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to hate it. Practice looking into the camera and just being comfortable. And that was essentially what I did for all of Vlogmas. And so I know if I power through it, I'm going to get to the other side of this intense discomfort, or it's actually a heart attack. Like, it's one of the two. It's either a physical heart attack that I'm ignoring or baseline anxiety. It goes away fast. Thank you. I'm so excited about it. My middle daughter's favorite colors in pre-K through second grade were teal and brown because they're such a good brown matches so many different colors, and it just feels warm and comforting. I remember in 7th or 8th grade, I was talking to a bunch of friends, and we were talking about like the colors of our auras because I was in 7th grade. We're weird. And I told somebody that I liked very much. She's like, well, what color's my aura? And I was like, I feel like it's brown, because brown is like such a comforting color. It was one of my wedding colors. I loved it deeply. Offended her so much, she stopped being my friend, and like, we were never friends again. Quit telling me to suck it up, Mrs. Spur. You suck it up. You don't know. It could be a heart attack. This could actually be beyond anxiety, and it's a straight up heart attack because poop is brown. I mean, sure, but like, good things can also be brown. Okay, tell me your story. I'll read it out loud. Unless you're saying, oh, story time to me, and there is a significant delay. This is awkward. Okay, so Mr. Spur woke up in the middle of the night having chest pain one night. Oh, you guys can't tell the same story over top of each other. Sometimes Mrs. Spur would live stream with me playing Farm Sim, and she'd be mean to me. She's a mean person. I've been saying it nonstop. She's one of the worst people I've met, and is definitely the worst part of my YouTube journey. Scale from 1 to 10. She's the worst part. And then it was the people telling me that I am raising terrible children. So I was half asleep and told him it was gas. Was it? Or were you just damning him to a life of having a heart attack in the middle of the night and you didn't care? He said, no, I'm dying. It's a heart attack. She did not try to hit you with a farm tractor. Oh, for some reason I switched to real life, and that she was driving a farm tractor at you, which I would have watched. She was such a disruption on the farm. I know. And then you said it's gas, go back to sleep. And like, I'm dying to, does he survive? Gunshots, can you guys hear it? Apparently somebody has a range in an HOA in our home, and it's not just random gunfire, which I don't believe. Yes, Calvin, how can I help you, my love?
Is it okay if I can borrow my iPad just to check my Rec Room account?
Okay. He let out the biggest burp. Oh my gosh.
Hello.
Does he feel silly now that it was actually just gas and that he needed to burp? I've had many anxiety attacks over just general anxiety, where it's so hard because I'm like, is it a heart attack or am I just being anxious and like awkward? Which is it? He was not okay with you dismissing it forever. You are a horrible wife. But you saved him an emergency trip, so that was good. I'm proud of you. Just, that's what I say. Just shove it under, and nothing bad will ever happen to us if we ignore all of our visceral, deep issues. So. Oh my goodness. But you two are incredibly adorable right now. So, all right. What else? Okay. It does feel a little bit better. I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera. I know that it is super boring, but I can't help that. I mean, I can't help that. I'm the one in charge of how boring this is. Okay. Thank you. You're such a good supporter. Thank you so much for being sweet and kind. Often when we interact in like the comments, I wonder if people think that we are previous friends or like sister-in-laws or something really connected, that we engage with each other so much, and not that we just happened to find each other on YouTube and decided to be real life friends. So, okay. Well, clearly I'm going to go to my fallback topic that I know Mrs. Spur is super interested in, and that is Tudor England. So, two more people jumped on. Hi, you guys, welcome. I'm just practicing not being a anxious mess in front of a camera. If you have any questions, throw them down, because otherwise I will resort to talking about Tudor England, and I don't think anybody finds that nearly as interesting as I personally do, but I do. It's so interesting to me. Like, so Henry VIII had famously 6 wives that he just cycled through, right? But everybody just thought it was like his ego because he wasn't giving birth to a son. But you have to remember, just prior to his reign, his father's reign, he had to obtain the crown on the battlefield. There was so many years of massive bloodshed. People were just murdering the crap out of each other. It was uncles killing their nephews and stuffing them inside of castle walls, which they did find them later. It was moms trying to kill for their sons to get on the throne. It was entire families. Like, there was so much bloodshed in the nobility that the risk of it dissolving into that again without like a legitimate heir that people could get behind was a very real risk. Like, civil war was a massive thing that was going to happen. Like, they were already considered usurpers. They weren't like very legitimate, which is why they had to marry their son Arthur to a princess of Spain, because they were one of like the biggest things. Then Arthur dies, and then he marries Henry, and that's actually Catherine. And then later, when she keeps giving birth, but all those babies die, they are like, oh, let's divorce her, but maybe she'll go into a convent. She doesn't. And then he's like, I'm pretty sure that when she was married to my older brother, they totally banged, and therefore my marriage is invalid, even though the Pope said it was totally valid, because the Pope can just make things valid in the eyes of God. He just gets to decide things. So essentially, it wasn't just his vanity, it was his deep desire to have a legitimate heir so that there wouldn't be massive civil war when he dies. And actually, there was a tiny chance of civil war after his son dies, because they didn't want Mary to come to the throne because she was Catholic, and kind of a good call because she just murdered so many people when she was queen. That's why she's Bloody Mary. But yeah, I love that. It makes me so happy. Okay, let's see. It does sound like Game of Thrones. It was, just so you know, Game of Thrones was based off of the whole War of the Roses. That's, I believe. Don't Google that. That's a fact. Don't Google it. It was based off of the War of Roses, which is what I was describing into. Don't forget to smish the like button. Thanks, babe. Okay. That settled me down a little bit because I really enjoy talking about that, but I am having a hard time looking at you guys and not, one, myself, because I did my hair, and other, reading this. Hola, ¿qué tal? Sudados desde Paraguay, hermosa. Oh, welcome from Paraguay. I can't speak Spanish. I can read Spanish, but thank you. That's really exciting. When I try to speak Spanish, it comes out in Chinese. I do speak Chinese, and that is the only language that will come out that's not English. I did basically fail Spanish because of that. Eres muy hermosa. I feel like hermosa means sister, though. Ooh, say something in Chinese. Ni hao shou shenme? That just means, what do you want me to say? It's the one thing I say that's not extremely vulgar when people ask me to say something in Chinese. But my name in Chinese is Ningli-sha. So I'd say, um, well, it's my go-to one. The other one is extremely crass, but I was really excited to learn it. And so I wrote it down on my notebook. And then one of my teachers came over and read it and was like wildly disappointed in me. So I learned Chinese in the Army. They send you when you are in the military and you go to language school. It's in Monterey, California. And it took me a year and a half to learn Chinese semi-fluently. Like a lot of my friends spoke Chinese far better than I did, but I had a better Chinese accent, weirdly enough. That is so cool. I'm finally in a point in my life where fewer people around me speak Chinese than don't. And so like now it's kind of a novelty, but in my previous life, everybody spoke Chinese, especially when we were drunk. And so it wasn't like a cool thing. It was just something everybody I knew did, basically. All right, what else while I drink my water? Drunk Chinese is hilarious. And I do it a lot. If I start drinking, I do love to show off that I can speak Chinese. And I think it's because I'm too drunk to realize I'm not speaking it correctly. And I just feel better about my skills. And we used to play drinking games in Chinese as well. What is my favorite movie? Boondock Saints. Have you seen it? I'm wildly disappointed in you. It's so good. It's very violent. Do not watch it in front of your children. And watch it with earbuds. And are you kidding? You've never heard of it? It's so good. It's really good. It's really violent and a lot of swearing. So wildly inappropriate for your kids. So good. Who is in it? Couldn't tell you. Who was in Boondock Saints? It's a little bit older. My screen didn't load correctly. I can't read any of this on IMDb. William Dafoe, Sean Patrick Flannery, and Norman Reedus. So I think Norman Reedus is Walking Dead. Oh, I am so old. I'm so old. I'm going to be really old soon. I'll be 42 and then I'm going to have to get my hips replaced. You are super young. You are just a spring chicken, Mrs. Spur. You are not older than me in any capacity. So, I kind of want to watch it right now. So in Boondock Saints, there's a prayer that I love and is used quite often. And so my husband had the prayer printed out on a cute canvas and we were going to give it to my dad, but then I didn't see my dad for long enough. And so now it is the prayer that is above my coffee. How much younger are you, Mr. Spur? Hi, Dre Blast 42. We're just practicing being able to talk in front of a camera on a live stream. It's the first time I've ever done this and I am trying not to have a panic attack. And so far we've covered Tudor England, so you missed out on that conversation. And now we're discussing the Boondock Saints. Bye, babe. Have fun pressing a button for your job. Hope it was worth it. I can't believe you didn't quit your job yet. Hand or injury. So sad. Okay, have fun. I hope it's a simple like x-ray and not, I don't know, what else would you do for a hand? Like a hand MRI? A hand CAT scan? How much older are you than she is? I've watched some of your train videos and I got like thrilled when you did one in Jessup because I was like, I know where that place is. And I thought that was really thrilling. And then I tried to watch the fire truck one, but the graphics in that is stupid. And I can't tell you how much it didn't hold my interest because I really wanted everything to have like better fire. And then you had a hard time with the doors. They don't do MRIs here, and CTs are somewhat rare. That is good to know. For some reason, I just feel like she presses all of the buttons and not just the one button, which is what she does for her job in my brain. So, okay. Who else is watching? Okay, there's 6 of us. That is 4. No, that's 3 times my goal. Pretty excited about that. Oh, a hand CT, that is. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I couldn't imagine what a hand CT would even do. I don't actually know what most of them do. I know that the MRIs are the magnet ones, and even though I know I don't have jewelry on, I know that I don't have any metal in my body, convinced I'm going to be pulled apart by it anytime I have to have one. Hate it. So, come here, Leroy Jenkins. All right. Now we're at the part where we show pets. This is Leroy Jenkins. He's a bad dog. Don't tell anybody, but he's a bad dog.
Yes.
Did your dad order pizza, bud?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Also,
Yeah.
I was trying to get you to enter in the screen time pass.
Sorry.
Then you don't?
No, I can't. I'm so sorry, but maybe after this I can. Okay? There's not that much longer.
Oh, okay.
So, Leroy makes us miss World of Warcraft. So,
Just put
it is actually something that my husband references in work all the time when they're talking about entering buildings. They talk about how you need a plan and everybody needs to stay a part of the plan, and the plan is very important. And then they show the entire class that clip to really bring home the idea that plans are important. Wendy, my husband's gonna get operated next month. He gets a knee replacement. That stinks. Was he expecting it, or did he hurt his knee? What happened there? And I hope it goes really well. I bet it is extremely painful to get a full joint replaced. Somebody else that I watch on YouTube, she broke her hip. She has kidney disease. She has not kidney disease. She just has bad kidneys and has had dialysis her entire life. And apparently that does a lot of damage to her bones. And she broke her hip. And so when they were getting her out of the bed after the replacement to do PT, she broke her other hip and had to get both hips replaced. And like that, it just breaks my heart. But she's in Canada and she's in Canada and she has access to, you know, their nationalized healthcare. So hopefully it didn't cost her too much. This is so weird. It's weird waiting and hoping that there will be comments and then just like trying to think of literally anything to say. I bet that I should do something else during my live instead of just talking to the screen, like try to show organizing or cleaning or something. Calvin, would you, Leroy, please don't be the worst right now. I really don't need you to bark.
Yeah.
It seems like Beauty and Leroy would like to go outside to go potty, please. Try not to get Leroy to go insane. Sorry, you guys, but the dogs live here too, so I can't do anything about that. Also, Leroy's a bad dog. He's just rotten. I hope he'll get better eventually, but we'll see. So, okay, it's good practice to talk, right? Because you're so capable of talking during your streams. And first time catching your live, I had 7. Oh, you had 7 written down? This is my first time ever having a live. So you and I are first timers here, Judy. He was operated already 6 times on it and he had arthritis on it. Oh, my love, that is so awful. I'm sorry, Wendy. I really hope that like the replacement will help with the arthritis and there won't be additional pain. Do you think it's going to cure his pain level, or do you think it's just like a management technique? I had 7 rotten SN written down. Did you have 7 written down at the time I was gonna go live? Or what did you have 7 of? 7 rotten schnauzers. Oh my gosh, they are so rotten. My dad has a schnauzer and he is so well behaved. He's so sweet. He's older. And so I thought, ooh, I'll get a schnauzer for my son. And what I didn't understand is how bad they are at puppies and how long they're in the puppy stage. He's just so rotten. He chews on everything. He destroys everything. He is loud and rambunctious, but he is so sweet and just like stares deeply into my soul when I hold him and I pick him up, and he just like stares into my eyes. It's just the sweetest thing. She had 7 other rotten Leroys. They are so rotten. But he's just like the sweetest dog too. And when he stares so deeply at my soul, I start singing Hungry Eyes to him because it just feels like we're having a very romantic moment together. Not that I'd come between him and the giant stuffed bear that he is in a very committed relationship with right now. That's his one love, but second to that, second to the giant stuffed bear, maybe I think he loves me. Okay, thank you, Calvin. I know you're so excited that I have a live stream, but please scram off, dude. Thank you. This is Kesha. Judy, I had 2 puppies. The other 5 were rescues. Oh, they were very different. Super, super sweet and very crabby. I am grateful we have a sweet one because my son is very rambunctious and physical. And if we didn't have a sweet, sturdy dog, I worry that he would have been nipped. We have 6 cats, ages 12 years down to 6 months. We have 3 cats because I have issues with animals. I keep getting them. One is about 2 years old, one is about 1 year old, and the baby, Sweet Potato Pie, I just found her, actually it's been 6 months now. I found her in, there were these 2 women, they stopped at Sam's Club and they kept looking inside their car engine, like under the tire, and I don't know what possessed me. It's not like I would have been able to help them. It's not like I would have been like, oh, I know so much stuff about car engines and tires. Could I assist you? But I pulled over and I was like, can I help you, you guys? I think my plan was like to go home and tell my husband, who also would not have been able to fix it, that there were women who needed help, and like send them back to Sam's Club to help these women. Anyways, I was like, what, you know, what's going on? Can I help you? And they're like, oh, we hear meowing. And I said, oh, did you find it? No, like we did. And it was this tiny little baby that was maybe 10 to 12 days old. And they're like, we drove for 90 minutes and just found this. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it didn't die. And they're like, do you want it? And I was so excited. I was so excited because I could have that cat, and it was so tiny. My husband couldn't accuse me of like going and buying it. It was just a couple days old. And of course I said we were just going to foster Sweet Potato Pie, and that was never going to happen. She's my sweet little baby. He just told me there are worser things than a knee replacement. I agree. There are worse things than a knee replacement, but I mean, like a whole joint being replaced, that is not something I would look forward to. Okay, am I jiggling for you guys? I think my dog being on her bed on the desk is making everything bounce, and I can't tell if it's annoying or if it's even something you guys can see. Do you see the jiggling? Hey, madam. Babe, I have 7 people watching my live right now. It's very exciting, nice. But I can't think of anything to say. Yes. Just a tiny bit, it seems. Okay, I'm gonna put her back down. She's getting banished. All right.
Banished to soft.
Okay, I'm going to try my hardest not to jostle you guys because it's not super obvious. Thank you, babe. I'm excited that it's not the worst. So, okay, we can settle down into this. We can do this. I have a full house. I am not going to be one of those YouTubers who's able to isolate and stream in any sort of not loud condition. My life is very loud. But hopefully it's not too terrible for you guys. Just chat about whatever comes to mind. Let's see. You're so nice. I'm not. I'm really not. Okay, I'm a little bit nice, but also extremely aggressive. It just depends what mood you can catch me in. I don't want to be super, super nice. I want to be tough and mean, like thick skin. Let's get through this. What do you think about being a YouTube creator? Is it harder than you thought or easier? It's a lot harder than I thought. Thank you for asking me questions. I love you deeply. Thank you. It's both. It's harder than I thought in that I don't feel like I'm good at it. It's a struggle to like figure out what I'm gonna do, whether or not it's gonna take up too much of my time, a lot of different things. However, I am doing better at it faster than I thought I would. I was able to hit the 1,000 subscribers because I cheated. So I actually filmed my video about this. My 1,000 subscribers, about, I think 780, 790 of them were like old ones from a video I posted 12 years ago. So like that had just been sitting on this. And so people subscribed, but they weren't really subscribing to me. It was subscribing to one video that they saw. So I hit the 1,000 threshold very quickly. I think about a month after I posted my first YouTube creator video. And then the 4,000 watch hours came extremely fast as well. I hit monetization. I think I did the math. It was like in 56 days. And I really didn't expect that. I was expecting about 18 months at the best to be able to hit those thresholds. One thing I really anticipate is those previous subscribers, if they're still alive, they subscribe to like a baby video, watching YouTube, watching twins come home from the hospital, and then to suddenly shift to a random woman who can't keep her house clean, like I would unsubscribe too. Or I would be like, wanted cute babies, not you doing your dishes. So I can see that oscillating back and forth, but I do have people actually caring and watching and commenting, and I didn't think that would happen so quickly. Oh, I'm so sorry, Maro. I actually cannot understand that much Spanish, it turns out. Okay, and then I think, okay, Wendy, I understand you completely. I want to be so strong after my depression, the anxiety, and the panic attacks. I have the same. I struggle very hard with those. It's something that I am working on immensely in my life. I am, because as you could tell, I'm exactly what you would picture when you picture an Iraq war vet. But that is where my PTSD comes from. I had a very difficult job over there, and it did impact me immensely. And so trying to overcome that it's something that you do have to work at every day. It is really hard, Wendy. It took me a little over a year from 0 to 1,000 to get monetized. I can't even imagine starting from 0. I mean, I think that would be so hard to just grind and grind and grind and have nobody watch your early videos at all. I think that would have hurt my feelings quite a bit, where I would just be like, nobody clicked. And I think the reason my first creator video went like to show so many people was also first my backlog of like 700 people, but I also put Mr. Beast's name in my title and in like a hashtag. So I think it went to a few more people who thought I was actually going to. I did talk about Mr. Beast. It was about his advice, but like, I think people are expecting something better than just me introducing myself. Gaming niche is super hard because it's one of the easiest to get into. If you're good at gaming, I would have no idea how to do. Does anybody want to watch me play Zelda Breath of the Wild nonstop? Because I can. I do love that one. But any other game? No, I'm not. You have to be good at gaming. That is an actual interest and skill that is beyond me. Mr. Beast is awesome. I love his really early content when he was in his teens. I don't know. My son is really into the idea of Mr. Beast and they're obsessed, but I poured a lot of effort into learning what I was supposed to be doing. How are you successful? How do you do content? Like, how do I find my niche? What is a niche? Like, what makes a YouTube channel successful? I really dove into it, and a lot of it was Mr. Beast's advice because he's incredibly successful. He's so good at what he does, and he continuously innovates and works hard. And his biggest piece of advice was to just do it because you're going to suck at it anyways. So get started and get better later. And so honestly, that's what tonight is about. Like, yes, I'm just going to go ahead, hit live, talk at you guys for a little bit because I'm going to suck at it and nobody's going to watch it, and that's fine. I adore your wife. I adore you for coming in and seeing this and just like dedicating so I have at least one person to talk to. But I was fully prepared to just sit here and talk at myself. You know, just the lull of not having conversation come back at you that you can play with, that you have to pause and read. It's weird, but it's going to be a skill that I think I can learn easily, or just learn. Hello, greetings from El Salvador. You are super pretty. Thank you. I put on a lot of makeup and did my hair today. It is a pleasure to see you. Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate that. It was cool seeing him evolve and figure YouTube out. I agree. Like, he knows YouTube. He's pretty amazing. Judy says, it's taken me 10 years of fighting the VA. Oh, okay. He finally started getting help in October of 2023. Okay, Judy. I don't know how to connect with you privately. So fighting the VA is an extremely hard thing to do. The VA psychologists, especially when you're trying to get compensation, they're like having a corporation's HR department. They're not there for you. They're there for the corporation. I had to eventually go through a private company who sent me to their own psychologist for evaluation, all of these different things, and submit that packet to the VA, not using their doctors. And that was how I got through and finally got it done. It was my last time doing it. I couldn't go through it one more time. I had a VA doctor once during my evaluation. He goes, oh, it sounds like you've developed a panic disorder as well. And I was like, yikes. And then the VA kicked it back and was like, you're not that crazy. Have a good day. So I wish we could connect outside of this. Maybe like if you could find one of my videos and drop down a comment with your email or something, or my email's on mine, send me one and we can talk about that further to see if I can get you a little bit more help and give you that reference. Okay. He's the king of YouTube. I watched his gaming vids when he was like 13. Oh my God, he's been on YouTube that long. Mr. Beast has been on since he was 13. This one here wants to be a YouTuber when he grows up. And that was a big part of me trying to figure out how to do this was, you know, to be a mom manager, and then I can steal all of his money. And when he's older, he can be broke, I'll be rich, and then we can be estranged and he won't ever talk to me again. Just like child stars, I think if I could force my kids to work and then steal all their money, that would be the best path for me. He had 2 channels. He deleted his very first. I wish that he wouldn't have deleted his very first so that we could see that, oh, you're back. Hi, Mrs. Spur. I hope you had fun pressing that button and getting a paycheck for running the x-ray machine. I think you are crazy. It's been rough. I will. Thank you. Good, Judy. I am going to look for your email so that I can get, buddy, I love you, but it's so weird that you're just hovering right there. That's so weird.
I just want to see the live stream.
You just want to see the live stream. It's not that interesting, buddy. If you want, before you go to sleep, I'll tell you about Tudor England as well. King Henry VIII. It's pretty fascinating. I can look up, we could watch Boondock Saints. No, watching from Belgium here. It's Almost 1 a.m. for you in Belgium? Wendy, get some sleep, my love. This will not be worth it. I guarantee it. This live is not worth you missing your sleep. Also stay because I really, really like having people in my live. It makes me feel really good. You're still at work. Oh, I'm sorry, babe, that you're still at work, but I'm glad you're finishing up. And I hope you don't get called in again. But if you do, your husband is carrying the lion's share of this conversation, and I deeply appreciate him. So, what else? I had a good run of talking, right? Like, that wasn't so awkward, and my chest pain is basically gone because I'm not as freaked out about how this is going to go. He does talk a lot. That's his job. So, and you know what? Soon you will quit your job and your entire existence will revolve around me and texting me back when I want you to. And that's what matters. Hola. It was just gas. You'll be okay. It wasn't gas. It was anxiety. I am a lady. I've never once, ever. How dare you, madam? Okay, I have to focus on pouring my water real quick. Hi, Lulu. Lulu Buns, that is so cute. Please tell me that you do have a bunny that you named Lulu Buns. Okay, I am jiggling the table. Sorry, guys. But I have to drink my water. Today, Lulu Buns, if it is relevant to a rabbit, today when we were trying to dump the black tank in our RV, which classily enough is the wastewater. Oh, babe, both of your bunnies died this month. Then this story is gonna not make you feel good. A random bunny showed up and was like eating clovers right next to our feet, and it was super adorable. I'm so sorry that I started into that, and I'm sorry that your bunnies passed. That is heartbreaking. Hold on one second. I overfilled my water. So, okay. All right, what else? What else should we chit chat about real quick? Mrs. Spur, was that hand broken? Were the fingers cut off? How broken was it? When I was a kid, we caught and raised wild rabbits a few times. I think that's really cool. We never had anything to do with rabbits. I grew up on a farm. I grew up on a ranch, a beef ranch, and we did have chickens as well. And it was in northern rural California. So not the California everybody pictures. It's just like nobody's there. It's farms and occasional volcanoes. So one year we had wild turkeys passing through, and two of the wild turkeys, a boy and a girl, looked at the chicken coop and were like, yeah, that shit looks awesome. And they moved in and they just stayed for the rest of their natural lives. And whenever a flock of turkeys would come through the fields again, they would run and hide in the chicken coop like the turkeys were back to get them and that they were gonna force them back to be wild. But those were smart birds. Like, they knew where the prime location was. It was where the chicken feed was and a nice, safe place to sleep at night. Oh, I read that you said no, super unimpressive, and I forgot that I asked you about the x-ray, and I thought it was a comment on me, and I was like, oh, thanks. Okay. The worst thing about it, though, is I'm still on holidays, so I wasn't there with them. Oh, I'm so sorry. That sucks. Not Skywalker Ranch, Northern Cali. No. Okay, Skywalker Ranch, Lucasfilms, Skywalker Ranch? No, California is so much bigger than that. Shut up. That is Middle California. Northern California is where I'm from. You've got like 7 hours left of California after you pass what everybody says is North California. But I did live near there, actually, for a while. Our kitten, who was 6 months old, had been euthanized due to rabbit's disease. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's a huge bummer. I'm so sorry, you guys. Skywalker, like the Northern California. It's just a tad north. It really is. So that area is where the twins were born. And there's a really small town nearby that I won't name. And their little kid softball league is sponsored by Lucasfilm. So if you drive by this like podunk town, this tiny little baseball field near literally nothing else. I think there were like 12 people in this town. And the back where all the sponsors are, it's like Jim's Auto Repair and like just random stuff. And then it's like Lucasfilms, and it was all nice and the actual thing. And it was just a very funny thing to see. I'm an Aussie. Oh, it is really late at night for you too. No. What time is it there? Early morning? It is way cool. It was nice to see how he gave back. It was really interesting, I thought. And a little bizarre. I'm in Sydney. It's 10:51. I'm way off. Not even close. I'm sorry, you guys. Well, welcome to the middle of the day. I'm excited. You guys are from the future. Are you tired of that joke? Do Americans make that joke all the time? Sorry. Also, I'm sorry it's winter for you guys. Yes, you guys do get that. Sorry. It's 17:52 here. Okay, so we're only an hour apart. I thought we were 2 hours apart, to be honest. Time zones are hard. Okay, I don't want to admit this. Time zones are really hard for me. I don't understand it. And then one day I was complaining my husband was making fun of me because time zones are hard. And he goes, how many time zones are there? I didn't know. I think I was like, I don't know, like 100. And he was so disappointed in me. It's a good thing I'm the one homeschooling the kids. I'm going to make them super smart. In the other Texas, I lived in the other part of Texas, and it is not as pretty as the east part of Texas. It was, have you been to San Angelo? It's so good. I hated living there. Oh, it's winter for us. Summer for you guys, winter for... Do you know how hot it was today in Georgia? It was hot. I was sweating. It's not my fault. Georgia's climate is hard. It's summer all of the time, except for last week it was winter. So, okay. It is so hard to say goodbye to a pet, you guys. You're driving home but listening? Good. I'm glad you're not paying attention to your phone while driving. But I listen to YouTube when I drive as well. I like to listen to crime interrogation so that I can get really good at it. So when I eventually murder somebody, I can get away with it. I feel pretty confident at this point. Either that or I could represent myself as a lawyer. Feel pretty confident on that one too. A few people have gotten pics of mountain lions here too. Bye, Lulu Buns. I feel like mountain lions are common everywhere in our general vicinity. Maybe not here, but you guys are Midwest enough, I would say, that I feel like you would have a ton. So watch your pets and your kids. Okay. What else, you guys? I feel like I was going to do this for an hour. I feel like my poor family is like trying to be quiet off in the corner, which is very funny. They come down the river out of the Rockies. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Everybody's like watching the TV on silent so that they don't interrupt my live. I have to figure out how to do this and not like destroy the rest of my family's time. Wendy, good night. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. I have 13 people. I have 9 people watching now. You missed it. We had a spike of 13. Now it dropped to 9. I'm 2 hours south Texas, little town, Victoria. It's 2 hours to San Antonio, Houston, Austin, 9 minutes to Corpus Christi. I love that. I love Texas. I really want to try to move there. A lot of my family is in that zone, a little bit of Austin, a little bit of Houston, a little bit of Dallas. So I go to Texas quite often. Steve Austin lived down around Victoria, right? Did he? Stone Cold Steve Austin? We were watching him last night. Sonia, are you trying to be weird so I giggle at you?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Thanks.
You are so weird, you guys.
Mommy,
Yes, Sammy? How can I?
honestly know my lesson.
You learned your lesson about sneaking?
Yep.
You're trying to get your screens back? Well, here's the thing is that I remember I said that we were going to be grounded until Tuesday. And today is Sunday. You did get a little bit of privileges back already. But we're going to stick with Tuesday of getting our screens back. I understand you learned your lesson, but I'm going to follow through with the consequence that I set. Okay?
Okay, so we can have our iPads back on Tuesday, right?
Tuesday. Okay?
Okay.
Sorry about that, you guys, but I always said that I'm going to put parenting over YouTube. Unless this takes off, and then I'll just get rid of my kids.
Hey.
I'm just kidding, baby girl.
Okay.
So, Tuesday's the big day. We get screens back. We lost them for struggling with our honesty, which is a big skill that is important to me because integrity is the number one value that I think everybody should have. Everything else can stack down underneath. So, yay, you're finally home. What's a value? Madam, if you don't know by now. Oh, you missed it in real life. Okay, sorry. I thought you were just being snooty. Integrity. Integrity is my biggest value. That's what I really want to establish in my family. It's my husband and I's number one, and over everything else, being able to be honest and authentic and do the right thing, even though no one is watching, is number one for us in our family. Yes. Did you guys know that when you're in the Army, they make you, I don't know if they do it anymore because I'm old and who knows, but you have to learn the definition of integrity. It's one of the Army core values. Do the right thing even when no one is looking. Probably not one of the Navy's core values. Sorry. Quit flipping me off camera. Your dad was a Marine in 1969. That's pretty amazing. Sad for you because Marines are not very smart, but you know, someone's got to be one. Just kidding. I feel like when you're in one of the branches, everybody mocks everybody. And then when you get out and you're talking to somebody who wasn't in, you just sound like an asshole all of the time. You actually know a battalion and regiment? Dang. They didn't eat crayons back then. Who knows? Probably though. I was talking to a neighbor the other day and there's like a water pipe had burst and there was water gushing everywhere. And so of course we wanted to just stand there and stare at it and talk about it. And I was like, oh, I wonder who pays for the water. And he goes, I don't know, but it would behoove them to get here and shut it off. And I was like, behoove? What branch were you in? And he's like, oh, I was in the Army. Why? And I was like, you behooved. Like nobody says that. You can't just drop a behoove out here. He was in the Kilo Company and they had a Medal of Honor recipient in his company. That is amazing. You see behoove? You missed your calling. Could have been in the military. I once went to like a military dinner and the speaker, the guest of honor, was a Medal of Honor recipient as well. And he just got totally shit-faced. And everybody there was like, yeah, good for you. I'd get shit-faced too. Proud of you. Drink as much as you want, buddy. Like the amount of grace that everybody was like, yes, you deserve it. Go for it. Was the Navy tried really hard to recruit me as an officer. I'm glad you didn't join the Navy. I married Navy. Okay, my loves, that is 1 hour of my very first live stream, and I am so excited that I got the first one under my belt. It wasn't as hard as I thought. It was awkward, still a little awkward, but it's done and it's in the past, and I don't have to think about it anymore. Thank you so much. I am proud of me too, but thank you guys. You helped immensely. Thank you so much, both of you, for being in here, being supportive, and trying to help me through it so that I didn't have to talk about Tutor England that much. Even though it is wildly interesting and I think everybody should be obsessed with it. But I love you. I'm gonna get off this so my family can start talking quietly in the background again. And I am excited to hopefully film and post my next video tomorrow. It should be interesting. It's analytics on my video and I think those are interesting. So you're disappointed on no more tutors. I'll text your wife nonstop. I'll give her all the facts and she could just read them to you all night long and you guys can be up until 2 a.m. talking about Tutor England. It's that important. So live streams do not slow our family down. Good. I hate it. It's got to be realistic. Like we can't all be private, quiet YouTubers. Some of us have feral children that we are not trying very hard to raise. So, okay. I love you guys. I am going to figure out how to end a live. I think it's press the X up here, but if it's not, you're going to see a lot of me fumbling with my phone and making awkward expressions. So I love you so much. I hope you guys have a beautiful evening or, middle of the day if you're down under, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.